There is definitely talk today surrounding Gone with the Wind. In its day, the 1939 classic was named Oscar's Best Picture. Yesterday, in an op-ed piece in the LA Times, John Ridley, the Oscar-winning screenwriter of 12 Years a Slave, asked HBO Max to consider removing that title from its roster. HBO Max heard him and has temporarily pulled the film.
Gone with the Wind has captured the imagination and acclaim of the entire world.
Writer, producer, and director John Ridley says Gone with the Wind glorifies the antebellum South, ignores the horrors of slavery, and perpetuates painful stereotypes of people of color. After his thoughts were published in the Los Angeles Times, HBO Max decided to take the film down, with plans to eventually bring it back with a discussion of its historical context and a denouncement of the film's depictions of black people and slavery. It comes at a time when the nation is talking and marching following the death of George Floyd. Edward Adams is a member of the African American Film Critics Association.
And you can't just have this conversation about where we are today, looking at how race has been portrayed throughout our culture, how it's been used in our culture, marginalized in our culture, without looking at this film, looking at how it portrays Black people.
You know what trouble I was talking about?
This conversation about, is it right? Is it wrong? Is it too soon? How it's going to be done? It's not something you can just figure out overnight.
Tomorrow is another day.
Gone with the Wind is still part of our culture. It's still the #1 highest grossing film of all time. And it really is a well-produced film. It is an amazing film. But the messages that it puts out into the universe is a little hard to take right now.
Zippity-doo-dah, zippity-yay.
When Disney Plus was launched, it left Song of the South in its vault. Back in 1946, the NAACP boycotted it for selling a whitewashed version of slavery.
I think that's a good example of when you take responsibility for the role that you play in pop culture, into the cultural zeitgeist.
Adams hopes these conversations continue. In the meantime, Amazon reports that Gone with the Wind has gone to #1 on its bestsellers chart for TV and movies, and it hit #5 on iTunes. Adams says for every action there is reaction, and this marks a sad commentary on where we are today. From home, George Pinocchio, ABC 7 Eyewitness News.